One day soon, I'm going to be the boss.
And I'm going to teach and empower the next generation.
One day soon, I'll use science to save the planet.
And one day soon, I'll save lives.
Right now, I'm ready to take the first step.
No matter what your goal, choose a pathway at Southern Cross University to transform your future.
G'day and welcome to the National Virtual Expo and to this session on making University of Sydney happen if you're a mature age student. And in this session, I'm joined by Beth Downey from the University of Sydney to talk about your opportunities as a mature age student. That's an interesting term, isn't it? Because you can be mature age if you are 21 or if you are 55. So everybody in the middle that isn't coming out of school, that is you. And this is a cracking session because University of Sydney, one of Australia's most prestigious institutions, something to aspire to, and Beth is going to take us through everything we need to know. So if you've got any questions as we go, make sure you drop them in the chat, wherever the chat is for you. If you're watching this on the replay, you can ask your questions in the Choosing Your Uni Discord, or if you're a parent, in the Facebook group for parents. Details for both of those are down in the description below. Without further ado, let's go hand over to Beth for this session on getting into the University of Sydney as a mature age student.
Hello, my name is Beth Downey. I work in Sydney Future Students at the University of Sydney, and today we are going to look at applying as a mature age student. Please note that the information in this presentation is for domestic applicants. Applying for university can be complicated, and hopefully this presentation will clarify some things for you. But if you need help at any point, you can contact our team via email at admission.pathways@sydney.edu.au. Let's start by clarifying a few key points. First, when we say mature age student, we are referring to an applicant who is over the age of 21. One common misconception is that just because you are over 21, then you must apply through the mature age entry scheme. This is not always the case. The mature age entry scheme is specifically designed for applicants who don't already have a qualification that we recognise for admission. If you already have an eligible qualification, you can apply without the help of the scheme. Another common misconception is that the mature age entry scheme allows you to apply for courses simply on the basis of your age. In all cases, you must have a qualification we recognise and can assess for admission. The mature age entry scheme is a pathway that allows you to apply with an eligible university preparation course, which would not be accepted under regular circumstances. And in the end, no matter the qualification you are using to apply, if you are a domestic, mature age student applying for a bachelor's degree at the University of Sydney, you will always need to submit your course application through the university's Admission Centre, or UAC. There are also a few restrictions you should be aware of. On the screen, you can see a small number of courses that are only available to current high school leavers. These are our double degree medicine and Sciences Po dual degrees. There are also restrictions on the double degree veterinary medicine course. If you are interested in medicine or veterinary medicine, we recommend contacting our team for advice regarding your options. It is also important to note that some courses will not accept certain qualifications for admission. For example, you cannot use a TAFE diploma to apply for any law or pharmacy degrees. You can find a summary of this information on the Recognised Qualifications page on the University of Sydney website. Simply search using the terms Recognised Qualifications and University of Sydney. I will refer to this page multiple times throughout the presentation, and I highly recommend visiting it. Additionally, it's important to note that all entry schemes will have at least some courses that are excluded from that scheme. These will be listed on the relevant scheme page. Make sure to research your options or seek advice before committing to a course of action. We'll now look at what sort of qualification you might use to apply for an undergraduate course. If you complete high school and receive an ATAR, you can still use it to apply for admission even if you finished many years ago. If you're like me and completed an Australian Year 12 qualification before the ATAR was established, then you may have a different score, like the UAI or TES. These are called historic Year 12 studies, and we will still accept them. They will simply be rescaled against the ATAR when you apply. We also accept over 100 secondary qualifications from around the world, like the IB, the SAT, or the A-levels. We include indicative entry scores for common secondary qualifications on our course pages. For example, here is a screenshot from the course page for our Bachelor of Arts. I have selected the SAT from the drop-down, and I can see that the indicative entry requirement is a 1250. This list is non-exhaustive, meaning it doesn't include every accepted qualification, so you should visit the Recognised Qualification page for full details. We can also consider you based on your grades from your bachelor's degree or a higher qualification, like a master's degree. You do not have to have finished your degree, but you will need to have completed the equivalent of at least 1 year of full-time study before you can apply using this qualification. Please be aware that this study must be within the 1 degree. So, for example, if you've done 6 months in one degree and 6 months in another, you won't be able to combine them to make 1 year of study for assessment. If you have both a secondary qualification and higher education studies, you'll be assessed on the better of the two. We provide a table on the Recognised Qualifications page, which you can use as a guide for eligibility to apply. For example, if you have a credit average in the first year of your bachelor's degree, you can apply to courses with a selection rank of up to 88. We may also consider vocational education and training or VET study, such as a completed TAFE diploma or TAFE advanced diploma, if it meets certain requirements. First, your diploma must be accredited by the Australian Qualifications Framework, or the AQF, or an overseas equivalent if you studied abroad. You can check AQF accreditation with your qualification provider, or if you've already finished it, you can look for an AQF accreditation symbol on your transcript of results or award certificate. Next, your faculty or school must accept the qualification. We provide a list on the Recognised Qualifications page, which outlines if a faculty or school will A. accept any diploma, B. accept diplomas from a relevant field of study only, or C. do not accept diplomas. Finally, if you are under the age of 21, you cannot apply with a diploma if you do not already have your HSC or equivalent. As a mature age student, this restriction will not apply to you. We also provide a table on the Recognised Qualifications page, which you can use as a guide for eligibility to apply with a diploma or advanced diploma. Before choosing to study a diploma, you should check the selection rank of the course you're applying for. For example, if I was interested in a Bachelor of Commerce, I would look up and see that it has a selection rank of 96. If I complete a diploma, even with the top marks, I would not be able to meet the selection rank for this course, as the maximum rank I could receive is a 95. And if I studied an advanced diploma, I would need to have a high distinction average to be eligible to apply for commerce. If you already have an eligible qualification for your course, then you can just go ahead and apply through UAC. But if you don't, then you might like to take advantage of our mature age entry scheme, which allows you to apply to most of our courses using an approved university preparation program. These programs are not accepted outside of specific entry schemes. The preparation programs can be studied by anyone, so they are accessible, flexible, and a low-cost way to get a qualification that you can use to apply for university. It is important to note that if you have an ATAR of 70 or above, a completed diploma or advanced diploma, 1 or more years of full-time study in a bachelor's degree or a higher education qualification, or the recognised equivalent of any of these, then you are not able to apply through the mature age entry scheme. To be eligible for the scheme, you will also need to be a domestic student, at least 21 years old on the 1st of March on the year in which you will commence study at the University of Sydney, and to have completed an eligible university preparation course within the previous 2 years. If you are eligible, you'll also need to make sure that the course you want is offered through the scheme, and take note of the accepted university preparation courses, plus any prerequisite subjects. Let's look at an example. If I am interested in the Bachelor of Commerce, I go to the Eligible Courses heading and open up Business. I can see that I can apply with the Limited ATAR, TAFE TBC, UNSW UPP in Business, Engineering or Science, or the University of Newcastle Open Foundation course. When I complete one of these qualifications, I must also complete a mathematics subject. Once you've completed your preparation course, you can apply for admission through UAC. Remember that admission to the University of Sydney is competitive, and places are awarded based on academic merit. Simply completing a preparation course does not guarantee an offer to your degree. You will be assessed based on your academic results. Let's finish up with a few other entry schemes that might be relevant to you. The Tertiary Preparation Course or TPC entry scheme and the Skills for Tertiary Admission Test or STAT entry scheme also allow you to apply for courses with qualifications that are not accepted under regular circumstances. The Educational Access Scheme gives students who have experienced significant educational disadvantages throughout their secondary studies the opportunity to have their circumstances taken into account when applying. This does not apply if you have a record of tertiary study. If you do have a record of tertiary study, the special consideration for admission scheme is for applicants whose secondary or tertiary studies were impacted by circumstances outside of their control. If you are an elite athlete or performer and your rehearsal, training, or competitive commitments significantly impacted your secondary or tertiary qualification, you can apply for the Elite Athletes and Performers Scheme. The My Sydney Entry and Scholarship Scheme supports students from low socioeconomic areas with adjustment factors for course entry, an annual scholarship, and ongoing support. The Regional and Remote Entry Scheme provides adjustment factors for entry to support students from regional and remote areas. And finally, the Portfolio Admissions Pathway can help you gain entry into eligible undergraduate courses at the School of Architecture, Design and Planning. Thank you for your time. I hope this presentation has helped, and if you ever need assistance, please contact our team and we'd be happy to help.
Well, I hope you got something out of this session, and if you have any questions at all, you can head to choosingyouruni.com and ask Lumen. Lumen is your AI guide who knows about every university, every pathway, every option that we've talked about throughout this virtual expo, and Lumen is available to talk to you 24/7, so it's ready when you are.